All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about ERP projects today. You know, those massive, super complex software projects that are supposed to run your entire business. They're also, notoriously difficult to get right. So we're going to cut through the noise and get straight to the single biggest reason they either succeed or totally crash and burn.
Okay, just look at this. On one side, you've got the recipe for disaster. No one from the top is involved. The project manager is trying to juggle this with their day job. No real experts are pulled from the departments. And honestly, nobody really knows who's supposed to be doing what. But on the other side, that's what success looks like. An executive who's actually in the game, a project lead who's 100% focused, and champions from every single department who know exactly what their roles are. I mean, it's night and day, right? So you've got to ask yourself, what's the one thing that separates these two? What's the secret sauce here? And here it is. This is the whole point. It's not about which fancy software you picked. It's always, and I mean always, about the people you get to put that software in place. It's the team. So if the team is the whole game, who exactly needs to be on it? Let's meet the 7 essential roles. These are the absolute heroes who will make or break your implementation. First up, and honestly, this is the most important one, the executive sponsor. This is the authority. We're talking the CEO, the owner, the COO, the person who can actually write the checks and make the final call. Their job is to champion this thing from the rooftops and just smash through any roadblocks. And the biggest mistake companies make? Trying to delegate this. You just can't. You cannot delegate leadership, period.
Next up, you need the driver, your project manager. This is the person who lives and breathes the project plan, the one who keeps the whole train on the tracks. But here's the kicker, and so many companies get this wrong. This is not a part-time job. When you're in the thick of it, this role needs a full-time, 40-hour-a-week person. Anything less, and you're just asking for trouble.
And these are your champions, your boots on the ground, the power users. These are the experts from each department who actually know how things work. They're the ones who are going to test everything, document the new processes, and then train all their coworkers. And just look at that time commitment, 15 to 20 hours a week. These aren't just people you check in with, they are a core part of the team. Now to round out the team, you've got 4 other critical supporting roles. You need your IT or system admin handling all the tech stuff, a finance or data lead to be the guardian of your data, a change management lead to make sure everyone is kept in the loop, and of course, your external vendor team, the partners who are actually building the system. Okay, so we know who we need, but how do you actually put this team together in the real world? Well, it's definitely not one size fits all. It really depends on how big your company is. If you're a small business, say 20 to 30 employees, you're looking at a pretty lean team, maybe 5 or 6 people total. Here, your project manager can probably start out part-time. You'll want about 3 power users covering your main areas, like sales, the warehouse, and accounting, and you'll probably lean on an external IT partner for the heavy technical lifting.
Now let's scale that up for a medium-sized company. The team gets bigger, maybe 8 to 10 people. And here's where that dedicated full-time project manager becomes completely non-negotiable. You'll also need more power users, probably one from each key department. And this is where it's a good idea to have someone specifically focused on HR and change management.
And for the big players, well, the team gets way more specialized. We're talking 12, maybe 15 people. You don't just have an IT person, you've got a whole IT team. You'll have dedicated people just for managing the change and for the huge job of data migration. And at this level, having a steering committee to oversee the whole thing is absolutely critical. Now, just having the right people in the room, well, that's only half the battle. If they aren't crystal clear on what they're supposed to be doing, you are heading straight for chaos. This is where a super simple but incredibly powerful tool comes into play. It's called a RACI matrix. It's basically a simple chart that spells everything out. Let me break it down for you. R is for responsible. That's the person who actually does the work. A is for accountable, the one person whose head is on the line who has the final say. C is for consulted. These are the folks you get feedback from. And I is for informed, the people you just need to keep in the loop. And here's a perfect example of how it works. Look at Approve Budget. The executive sponsor is both accountable and responsible. It starts and ends with them. But then look at something like user acceptance testing. The power users are responsible for doing the actual testing, but it's the project manager who is ultimately accountable for making sure it gets done right. See? This simple chart just eliminates all that "I thought you were doing that" confusion right from the start. Okay, we have our team, we have our plan, but there's one last really tough reality check we need to talk about. This project, it is not a side hustle. Now get this, just look at the time this really takes. For a typical 12-week project in a small business, you're looking at 400 hours from your project manager and another 600 hours from your power users. That is 1,000 hours of internal time. 1,000! And that's not even counting everybody else on the team. This is a huge, huge commitment.
And that really brings us to this quote, which is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Don't expect implementation success while everyone maintains 100% of their regular duties. You have to make space for this to happen. You have to backfill people's regular jobs. It's the only way. So, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this. The right team has a leader who actually leads, a project manager who drives it full-time, and total clarity on who does what. The wrong team? The CEO is a ghost, everyone is trying to do this part-time, and confusion is just the name of the game. The choice is really that stark. So as we finish up, the last question you need to ask isn't about the technology. You know the software can do what you need it to do. The real question, the one you need to be honest about, is this: is your team truly ready to make it happen?